You're here. Alone, aren't you? They didn't see it. Didn't care to look deeper. They don't believe in you. They probably never did. Why? Because they're busy measuring you against their tiny expectations, thinking they know what you're capable of. But they're wrong. They couldn't be more wrong. They're clueless about what lies inside you. About the fire you keep hidden from their shallow eyes. You don't need them. You never needed anyone to tell you who you are. Do they get it? No. They're too busy putting limits on you, on everyone, thinking they know everything. But here's the truth. They don't know a thing. Not about you, not about what you carry. Not about the things that keep you going, long after they've turned their backs. Remember this, they think you're just like them, bound by what's easy, afraid of what's hard. They don't understand that you were built to endure, to face whatever comes with silence, with grit. They see the surface, only what's visible. But what they can't see is what drives you, what fuels you, what you've been through that made you this relentless, this focused. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them dismiss you like you're nothing. Use it. Use every single ounce of it. It's fuel for the ones like you, the ones they overlook, ignore, misunderstand. They don't believe in you? Good. They've done you a favor. Now you have nothing to prove to them. Only to yourself. Every time they brush you off, every time they underestimate you, it's just another reminder. Not a setback, not an insult, just another push to keep going. Let their doubts be your strength. You're not here to fit into their world, their ideas, their easy explanations. You're here to break every mold they've tried to put you in, to show yourself that there's more inside you than they could ever imagine. And don't expect them to see it. Don't expect applause or approval or anything. You don't need their support. You don't need their belief. That's not what fuels you, not what keeps you alive. The world isn't built for people like you to be accepted. It's built to crush anything that doesn't fit. But you don't fit, do you? You don't bend. You don't break. Not for them. Not for anyone. Keep going. You're stronger than they'll ever know. And one day, when you've risen past every limit they tried to set, they'll wonder how they missed it, how they didn't see it. But it won't matter. You'll have moved on, past their doubts, beyond their understanding. Let them watch. Let them doubt. Because when the dust settles, the only one left standing will be you. They'll never get it, and that's fine. Not everyone's meant to see the road you're on, especially those who think they've got you figured out from a distance. Let them underestimate you. Let them make their small judgments. They think they know struggle. They think they understand grit, but they have no idea what it's like to walk your path. They can't feel the weight you carry, or the strength it took to build yourself up from nothing. That's why their words don't mean a thing. They don't see what you see, and that's your edge. They're walking blind, following the easy road, looking for shortcuts, leaning on each other for validation. But you've learned the hard way that you don't need anyone's approval to keep moving forward. Every time they doubt you, every time they turn their back, it's just a reminder that you're on your own. And that's exactly how you like it. It's easier to focus in the silence they leave behind. They can keep talking, keep whispering behind your back, keep counting you out. Their voices only add to the quiet you thrive in. Think about it. How many times have they written you off already? How many times have you heard their dismissals, felt their doubt lingering in the air? And yet, you're still here. You're still pushing, still fighting, still proving to yourself that you don't need their validation, their understanding, or their belief. You're past that now. You've outgrown their expectations, and they're the ones who will never catch up. You don't need to look back to see who's still watching, because none of them matter. They don't know the hours you put in, the sacrifices, the late nights, the silence that stretches around you like armor. They don't know how many times you've pushed through when others would have quit, when others would have folded under half the weight. They think you're just like them, weak, needing reassurance. But you don't need any of it. All you need is the reminder of what they said, of the way they looked away, the way they dismissed you. That's fuel enough to keep going, to push harder than they could even comprehend. Every moment of doubt, every whisper, every laugh behind your back, keep it close, like stones in your pockets. Let it weigh you down so you can feel it, Remember it. Use it. You don't shake it off. You don't ignore it. You take it in. You let it sit there right next to the fire inside and feed it. Because you're not like them. You don't let things slide. You remember every single one of their doubts. Every single one of their sneers. And you turn it into fuel. You turn it into grit. You walk alone, but that's strength. Solitude isn't your weakness, it's your power. They run from it, but you lean into it, embrace it. That's why they don't get you, why they can't figure you out. They're terrified of being alone, terrified of facing themselves without someone there to prop them up, to validate them. You're not scared. You've been alone before, and you'll be alone again if you have to. That's what separates you from them. While they're scrambling for approval, you're building yourself up brick by brick. They can't see it, but that's their loss. They can't see the depth of your resolve, the weight of your discipline, the silence you've learned to thrive in. They don't understand that real strength isn't loud, isn't flashy. Real strength is quiet, like steel forged in fire, like roots growing deep in dark soil. They don't have that depth, and they never will. Their strength depends on each other, on the safety of their little circles. But your strength is in your solitude, in the way you push forward, no matter who's watching or who's there to applaud. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You don't need to drag them along or make them see your worth. That's wasted energy. Let them think what they want. Let them believe whatever they want. Your path isn't for them to understand. It's yours alone. You don't have time to waste on convincing people who were never meant to come along on this journey. They'll watch from a distance, and that's fine. They'll try to keep up, try to make sense of your moves, but they'll never understand what drives you. Because they don't believe in you, and that's exactly why you'll go further than they ever will. Their disbelief is the foundation you stand on, the fuel that keeps your fire burning long after they've given up, gone home, quit. You're not here for them. You're here for the challenge, for the battle, for the climb. You're here to push yourself to places they can't even imagine. And one day, when you've broken every boundary, surpassed every limit they set, you'll look back Not for validation, but to see how far you've come. They'll be the ones left wondering, left regretting, left empty-handed, while you keep moving forward. And by then, there'll be nothing more than a memory, a ghost in your shadow, a reminder of the disbelief that pushed you past every limit they tried to place on you. So keep going, because in the end, their disbelief is nothing compared to your will. They don't get what it takes to keep moving when everything's against you. They've never been here, staring down the darkness, with nothing but your own voice telling you to keep going. They wouldn't last a minute in your shoes. They'd crumble under the weight of it, under the silence, under the isolation. They rely on each other too much, on voices outside of them, telling them what they're worth, telling them who they are. But you found that voice within yourself. You had to, because there was no one else there to do it for you. You're not like them. You don't need to be seen. You don't need to be understood. That's a weakness they'll never shake. The need for someone else to confirm they're on the right path. But you know, deep down, that the only one who can validate you is you. That's the edge you have. The thing they'll never understand. No matter how many times they look at you and try to figure out what drives you. They'll call it arrogance. They'll call it stubbornness. But you know, it's something they'll never have. It's the strength to walk alone, to push forward, even when the whole world turns its back. Let them say what they will. Let them doubt. Let them talk. Let them turn their eyes away. You don't need their gaze, their approval, or their acceptance. Your worth isn't tied to their opinions, their fleeting support, or their empty words. You know exactly who you are, and you're not here to change that for anyone. You're here to face yourself, to conquer the challenges they don't even have the courage to approach. They can watch from a distance, judge from their safe places, and tell themselves you're going to fail. But it won't make a difference. You're built for this, hardened by every doubt, every moment alone, every step you had to take without a soul to lean on. And that's why you're unstoppable. You've learned to rely on the one person who won't ever let you down. Yourself. While they're out there looking for validation, leaning on each other, afraid to stand alone, you're carving out a path they couldn't dream of walking. They don't believe in you? Good. They've already shown their limits, proven they're not made of what you are. They've made it clear they'd rather stay comfortable, stay safe, than push themselves into the unknown. But you're here for the unknown, aren't you? You're here to go further, to push beyond what they thought possible. They can sit back and watch, comfort themselves with their doubts, tell themselves they know better. Meanwhile, you're moving, step by step, through every obstacle, every setback, every moment that would have stopped anyone else. They think they're safe in their disbelief, that their words mean something. But they're just another reminder of why you keep pushing. You don't owe them anything. You don't need to prove a thing to anyone but yourself. You didn't get here by chance. You didn't stumble into this. Every step, every decision, every ounce of effort, it all came from you. Not them. Not their opinions, their doubts or their voices. Just you, facing down every challenge, every silent night, every harsh truth about what it takes to keep going when nobody's got your back. They don't know the meaning of struggle. They think they understand because they've faced a few hard moments. But they've never walked a mile in the dark, alone. They don't know what it's like to be their own anchor, their own strength, their own motivation. And that's why they'll never understand you. They'll watch, they'll whisper, they'll make their judgments. But it won't change a thing. Because in the end, it's not about them. And it never was. It's about you. About the promise you made to yourself, the strength you found when there was no one else there to lean on. Their disbelief is their limitation, not yours. They're trapped in it, blinded by it. But it's nothing more than fuel for you. So, keep going. Don't look back. Don't pause to check if they're watching or listening. It doesn't matter. They can keep their disbelief. It's just a shadow, a flicker in the dark. Something to remind you of the smallness of their vision. While they're waiting for something to convince them, you're out there making it happen, fighting for every inch, pushing through every doubt. Their words can't touch you because you're too far beyond them now. Moving through places they're too scared to go. You don't have time to wait for them to understand. You don't need them to. Let them live in their safe world, where disbelief is a shield, where doubts are excuses. Let them cling to their small views, their easy judgments. You're past that now. You're out there, in the silence, in the dark, facing everything they're afraid of. And you're doing it alone, because you have the strength they lack, the resilience they can't comprehend. Every step you take, you're proving yourself right. Every move forward, every push past the limits they set, is a victory they'll never see. They'll be stuck in the same place, bound by the same fears, while you're out there living beyond their reach, beyond their understanding. And one day when they look around and realize you're nowhere near them, it won't be because you've left them behind. It's because they never had the strength to follow. Let them be what they are. Let them doubt. Let them judge. Let them try to pull you back. You're stronger than that. You don't need their belief, their understanding, or their acceptance. You have yourself, and that's enough. That's all you've ever needed. They won't even realize what they've missed until it's too late. They'll keep watching from the sidelines, keep clinging to their small, easy ideas about you, while you're pushing past every barrier they set, every limit they think defines you. They don't know what it's like to step into the unknown and keep walking when every step feels heavier than the last. When the silence around you starts to weigh more than the doubts they throw. But you're built for this. They'll never know how much strength it takes to keep moving alone. To push forward without anyone believing in you. Let them live in their world of safety and comfort. They don't realize that safety is a cage, that comfort makes them weak. They'll sit there, looking down on anyone who dares to step outside the lines, thinking they're smarter, stronger, because they haven't had to struggle. They don't see that struggle isn't weakness. It's what makes you unbreakable. Every hardship, every moment of doubt, every time they turned their back, it was all just another piece of armor, another layer of strength they'll never have. And here's the truth. They'll never understand why you don't give up, why you keep going when there's nothing left to prove. They think they're the reason you fight, the reason you keep pushing. But they're nothing more than fuel. Shadows cast on a path that only you have the courage to walk. Their disbelief was never your purpose. It was only a reminder. A reminder of why you walk alone. Why you don't need anyone's approval to keep pushing forward. You're driven by something they can't see, can't understand. And that's why you'll keep going long after they've run out of things to say. You're not here to live up to their expectations. You're not here to fit into their mold, to satisfy their narrow idea of success. You're here for the fight, for the grind, for the moments when everyone else would have turned back, would have let the weight crush them. But you know that weight is your advantage. Every step forward, every ounce of struggle, it all makes you stronger. It sharpens you, hardens you in ways they'll never understand. They can keep judging, keep doubting, keep believing that they know you better than you know yourself. But in the end, they're just spectators to a battle they'll never have the strength to fight. They don't believe in you? Good. Let their disbelief drive you deeper into your purpose. Let it remind you that you're on a path they could never understand, never survive. You're not here to be ordinary, to live up to their small ideas. You're here to break every rule, to defy every expectation, to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than they could ever imagine. And one day, when you've reached heights they couldn't even dream of, they'll realize what they missed. But by then, it'll be too late. They'll talk about you like they always knew. They'll say they saw the potential, that they knew you'd make it, but you'll know the truth. You'll remember every dismissive look, every doubt they threw your way, every moment they turned their back, because they didn't think you had it in you. And in that moment, you'll know that you've left them behind. Not because you needed to prove them wrong, but because they were never capable of walking this path beside you. You're here to show yourself what's possible, to push beyond every limit they set, to rise above every doubt they cast. Their words are nothing more than noise, an echo that fades as you keep moving forward. They think they know what you're capable of, but they're only seeing a fraction, a shadow of what you carry within. You're not limited by their beliefs. You're fueled by them. Every step you take, every barrier you break, is proof that you were always stronger than they could ever understand. They'll keep doubting, keep watching, keep thinking. They know the end of your story, but they don't know the depth of your resolve, the fire that drives you, the strength you've built through every silent night, every lonely step forward. They think they're in control, that their opinions define your limits. But they're just spectators to something they'll never truly see, never fully grasp. Let them doubt. Let them keep their distance. Let them live in the safety of their disbelief. You don't need their support, their understanding, or their belief. You're past that now. You're on a path that they could never walk. Pushing forward, not because of them, but in spite of them. They'll never see the strength it takes to walk alone, to carry the weight of your own purpose, without anyone else's belief to lean on. And one day, when they look back and realize you're gone, that you've moved past everything they ever thought possible, they'll wonder how they missed it. They'll wonder why they didn't see the strength, the fire, the grit that kept you moving when everyone else would have quit. But by then, it won't matter. You'll be too far beyond their reach, too far past their doubts, too strong for their words to ever touch you again. They don't believe in you? Good. Let it be the fuel that drives you forward. Let it be the reason you keep pushing, keep fighting, keep proving to yourself that you don't need anyone else's validation to reach your goals. Their disbelief is nothing more than a shadow, something that fades as you move forward, as you rise above every doubt they cast. You're stronger than their words, stronger than their doubts, stronger than anything they could ever throw your way. Keep going, because in the end, the only belief that matters is yours.